Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Ben from the Lover of Tech channel. Now, I had the chance to go to the ROG event for Asus for the announcement of the ROG gaming phone. This is one product I'm really excited to test and see. So I got the opportunity to go and I wanted to give you my first hands-on impressions of what I thought of the device while I was at the event. So sit back and let me give you my first impressions and hands-on with the ROG phone. Now, this is just a quick hands-on overview, so there's so many features that I won't be able to cover, but I really wanted to just go over the things that really stood out to me while I was using the phone. Now, let's start off with the beast mode specs, the highest config of the Snapdragon 845 on this chipset at 2.9 GHz maximum clock, 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage with 512 GB, 4000 mAh battery. It is an absolute beast of a phone. Out of all the specs, the one that stood out to me the most was the high refresh rate OLED panel. Although at 1080p and 90Hz, it's not quad high definition or 120 frames a second, but it is OLED. This is one of the things I've wanted. They've proven to be the only OLED AMOLED product with a high refresh rate on any device that I've seen, and this is such a standout feature. Now, the display based on first impression looks really good. It gets plenty bright, the colors are really good, it's really fast, and this is definitely going to help with it being a gaming centric phone to have this high refresh rate. But it's such a unique feature that the fact that they are the only ones doing this with an AMOLED panel, so this is a good look so far. Now, with the display being at 6 inches and 18:9 aspect ratio, the size of the phone really feels substantial and premium. It does not feel like any other glass and metal phone. This feels really heavy and substantial. The battery, the internals, you can really see that they've spec'd this phone out to have top quality build quality, and just holding it, it really does feel the parts. So that's one impression I felt from it that I really liked. The build quality is phenomenal. Now, it being a gaming phone, connectivity and accessibility are two main focuses on it, and it doesn't disappoint. You've got ultrasonic pressure sensors on the phone, and that implements into the air triggers, which actually allow you to remap different button configurations in a game where you can actually have right bumpers, so you can use these controls so it doesn't interrupt the display. And also in terms of connectivity, you've got 3 USB Type-C ports that are on there. Yeah, you heard right, 3 USB Type-C ports with a headphone jack as well. The headphone jack is still here with a 4000 mAh battery, and those 2 connections of the USB Type-C ports at the top allow you to have power connected to the phone so you're not interrupted while playing the gaming landscape, and also accessibility to different accessories. So where you have one of them that actually comes in the box already, this allows you to have a fan to keep cool the CPU to game for a longer period of time. And you can see that it's a detachable one that actually clamps on with the USB-C connections, both of them at the top, onto the phone, and it has its own RGB logo with the ROG RGB logo, which is crazy because this is something that you can actually use and customize the different colors to aura sync from Asus, and it is absolutely cool. Speaking about the customizable RGB logo at the back with the ROG logo there, it's so cool when you see it in person. The different colors that it illuminates through, just the cool factor of it and the swag factor, it makes this phone so unique in terms of design and the build and aesthetics to it. This is something I really like. I really wish more phones had RGB logos on there. And it's not something I wish I would say, yes, it's a feature that's there to just more look cool than to be absolutely useful, but it's fully customizable for your notifications or syncing with other Aura products. This is something that is so nice. And I think Asus knew this for the point where they actually decided to put this phone on ice. Imagine. Based on this, I really like what I was seeing here. It's splash proof as well, so there is slight water resistance on there, but nothing as major as all the other consumer phones, but there is some protection against the elements. But the RGB logo though, this is something that I really like and looks really cool. And last but not the least is the camera configuration. Now, this is not the main focus of this phone, but I thought let me just touch on it anyway, and it's something that near enough surprised me in terms of the configuration. It's a 12 megapixel camera, which is the standard view, which has optical image stabilization on there. And the secondary camera is an 8 megapixel camera, but it's an ultra wide angle camera, which is really cool because not many manufacturers are implementing an ultra wide secondary camera. And it's something that was interesting in terms of using it, that it seems like it works really well. But again, the conditions of the show floor, the lighting wasn't necessarily all that great. But you can see that it has got the feature on there with portrait mode or bokeh effect, where it can actually simulate all the way down to a wide open f/9.5 aperture, which actually in terms of the edge detection based on first impressions looked quite decent. And it actually got me interested in thinking that the fact that it does have optical image stabilization, dual cameras, and a wide angle as a secondary camera, and a decent selfie, which is around 8 megapixels f2.0, I might want to test this and see how this camera performs, which is not really the main focus of this phone. But it's interesting to see what it might perform, so hopefully I get more hands-on with it to be able to test the camera as well as everything else on this phone. But overall, from the crazy design, the unique design of the phone, the killer display, the beast mode specifications, and also the cooling as well as the accessories that come with this phone, this is the most focused phone I've seen in a long time. It is focused on what it wants to be, which is a gaming phone, and also wanting to be the best gaming phone in the market. And let me know if you agree in the comment section below. I definitely want to test this phone because I've been screaming for a phone that can have a high refresh rate OLED panel, and just based on first impressions using it, it looks that damn good. So based on first impressions with this phone, I'm actually really excited for this phone more than I thought, and it looks really cool. And in terms of what is happening with the release price in the UK, it's $799, but with the pre-orders before it comes out on the 14th of December, you can get it for $699 in the UK. And this is a good and competitive price considering what you're going to be getting potentially with this phone, especially for a Generation 1 product. This, based on first impressions, is really, really good. I wanted to give a shout out to Concepts Creator and also Roger from Live for Tech for helping me get some of the shots, and also to Asus for having us at the event. I'm going to link their channels in the description below. Definitely let me know what you think of the ROG phone. Are gaming phones still relevant, or even just with the gaming features? Do you think it benefits the average consumer or the normal user in the features that they get on this smartphone? Let me know what you think because it's really intriguing. I'm your host, Ben, on the Lover of Tech channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get more content on the ROG phone, hopefully in the future. I'll catch you next time. Peace.